Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Monday live stream. I'm sorry that we didn't bring you a live stream yesterday, everybody. Simply put, it was Mother's Day and I had some stuff going on, etc., etc. So, long story short, we're going to do what we usually do, which is bring you a live stream during the day on the Monday there. We're going to start the show outside. One second here. All right. 2 seconds, everybody. We're going to be able to say hi to everybody very shortly. I just got to get myself situated. All right. Now, we got to see if we've done the angles correctly for the show. And then we'll be able to say hi to everybody. See here. All right, just a moment now, everybody. Pulling open the shit here on the phones. There we go. All right. Now we're going home. There we are. And we're loading the show now. All right, everybody. Whew. All right, well, my phone's trying to load here. As you can tell, the video quality of the show today is not quite as good as the new phone. I am potentially going to have some business calls come through during the show, at which point, if that does happen, we're going to pull Miss Potsquatch here into the show for a bit to talk to all you wonderful people while I take those calls. So I've actually got the better phone here, which is what we normally use for the camera for the show. But anyway, everybody, welcome to the show. Let's go back to the beginning and say hi. What's up, the big bud shepherd? How you doing? What's up, Johnny Summertime? He says, I made a short film once about a photographer who went blind but couldn't then only see through his camera. Interesting. I could see this turning into a magic pair of method 7s for the cultivator. You never know, my friend. Well, hello there, Tokers and Growers. What's up, Tokes Outdoors? What's up, Boogers Growers? What's up, ABKZ? What's up, Chris Barton? What's up, Kyle Ferguson? What's up, Chris Brandon? What's up, Heckler 420? What's up, in my opinion? What's poppin' with you, baby? What's up, Growth Time 420? What's up, Elizabeth Pilgrims? Visible Farms Pilgor? Hello. Peter Vigna, Swamp Ape, Snowflake the Boss, what's up? Minneapolis Mike 81, what's up with you? What's up, C. Van Vin? What's up, Mondo Shaves? What's up, Spencer 1162? Yo Pops FPV, yo. We're caught up. All right, everybody. Today's show, we're going to dedicate today's show to someone, he's not really on the YouTube there, but he is known on the Instagram as the Blind Cultivator. His name's actually Robert, but part of why we're doing that today is, well, one, I'll admit, Robert and I were friends. We became friends as growers through the interwebs. He's from Texas. We became pretty tight, and I won't lie to you. A couple months ago, we got into a very heated argument, basically told each other to go fuck themselves. It was a stupid argument. We were both being men and thick-headed and stubborn and stupid in our own special ways. And we hadn't really talked in a number of months, but I actually found out yesterday that Robert, my friend, the blind cultivator, had a very severe stroke. He's had a number of strokes. That's part of why he's blind. But simply put, he had a really, really, really bad stroke where he is now completely paralyzed, can't really speak, or at least on one side, right? And so, long story short, it's not a good time to be sick. It's not a good time to be, going through that. So we're going to dedicate this show to Robert, the blind cultivator, grower of many decades, big aficionado and lover of the cannabis sweet titties down in the state of Texas. So this show's for you, buddy. And, hey, I know that Texas Pete went and visited you in the hospital yesterday. And from what we can tell, you heard the message from me of saying, man, we were both being dumb. Let's crush the fucking beef. It was stupid. Especially, that you're sick right now, right? And so we're pretty sure he agreed to that. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell. It's kind of, but we're pretty sure he agrees. So we're dedicating this show then to the blind cultivator today, ladies and gentlemen. So this one goes out to you, bud, and I hope you're doing all right. And I hope you recover and bounce back. This is not the first stroke for Robert. This is one of many. So let's hope the best for him. And he's down in Texas there. Cool dude, we don't agree on everything, hence, the argument that we got into. and we're both very much loud, intense, thick-headed A-type males, and so then these things happen, right? So, but moving on from that, I love you, buddy. Our argument was stupid anyway, and I miss you, and I hope you're all right. And my thoughts and all of our thoughts are with you, your family, your daughters, and everybody right now at this time where you're going through some medical issues there. So, yeah. All right. When did that happen, Thomas Davis, Josie Wales? I'm aware of the name and sort of the back origin story of GG, the original Gorilla Glues, and the Hermia accident. When did that happen? Interesting, Isaac Kendrick. It'd be interesting to see. I mean, my own father has had 3 strokes that should have killed him or made him a vegetable, but he's still going somehow. So tough old warhorse. Both my dad and Robert there. So. I think he's around the Houston area because Texas Pete's down in the Houston area, and I'm pretty sure. Well, Robert's house was roughly in the same area because I actually helped the Blind Cultivator and Texas Pete to kind of become friends. Like Texas Pete had never really had a grow friend, and Robert really hadn't had many in real life, maybe on the internet. But I mean, as many older growers are, it was a sort of a thing of cloak dagger secrecy. You didn't really tell people, especially if you're down in Texas, right? Things pretty illegal down there and have been in the past, quite very anti-pot in a lot of communities there. So it's kind of one of those things down in Texas, you gotta watch out, right? You know what I'm saying? But yeah. May 8th. Oh crap. Well, you know what? Rest in peace, Josie Wells. You're a great grower. You brought the world of Gorilla Glue, which is arguably probably one of the more popular, most definitely top 5, top 10 strains that a lot of people like to either grow or utilize in their genetics. So you definitely left your mark on the weed world there, Josie Wells, and so rest in peace there. Yeah, Texas Pete's my homie, man. Texas Pete is one of the nicest, genuine, good dudes I've ever met. It was funny. Robert had another stroke a number of months back before he and I had fought, and Texas Pete went and visited Robert on his own birthday in the hospital and brought Robert presents. So Texas Pete took his hat that his Potsquatch Growers hat that he had bought and all that, and brought Robert presents in the hospital while he was sick there. And Robert was so blown away that a man would come on his own birthday to visit another guy in the hospital and bring him presents, right? So that's just the kind of guy that Texas Pete is. Big fucking heart on that motherfucker. So, big shout out to Texas Pete too for yesterday going to the hospital to visit Robert, the Blind Cultivator, and also for conveying my message of let's squash the beef. We were being stupid men. I love you, buddy. I miss you. Especially, we don't need to be fighting over stupid shit. It was stupid. So it arose out of the classical conflict between Canadian and males in America, and it was just basically a prick waving contest. It was stupid. So, what's up, Texas Pete? Speak of the devil, man. Welcome to the show, brother. We were just been talking about you, Texas Pete. We just been talking about you, baby, and talking about Robert there, and so Robert, Texas Pete, maybe you could share with all of us a little bit about how Robert's doing there down in the hospital, the Blind Cultivator, brother. 1 second here, everybody. I'm just making sure that this. Ashley Upper has subscribed to you on YouTube. Welcome to the channel, Ashley. Welcome to the Potsquatch Growers Army. We're an international community of thousands on 5 out of the 6 continents, and we are the weird, strange, weed pity people. Doesn't matter your gender, race, social beliefs, superstitions, blah 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 blah. None of that matters. As long as you treat people with respect, love weed titties, anyone's welcome in our community. Hell, we've even got some members in the community that aren't really necessarily weed people, but they find it intriguing. We've got people actually that tune into the show because they enjoy watching my stupid ass just talk up my ass, which is weird but interesting at the same time. So, much love to all of you. But welcome to the community there, Ashley. All right. Okay, 1 second here, everybody. I'm just reading a little bit. Minneapolis Mike 81. Really digging my new big squatch, dude. Got 2 of them cranking my 5x5 out. Ladies blowing up 3,500 Kelvin. That's fucking awesome, Minneapolis Mike. For those of you who don't know what Minneapolis Mike is referencing, we actually have our own lighting brand released between my company and a small little company called Soul Strip. It's called Squatch Lighting Systems, brought to you by, powered by Soul Strip. They're a tiny American company. We're a tiny Canadian company standing together to try to bring lighting systems that are reliable, professional grade, affordable, and fixable to the market. So at the end of the day, dude, that's so awesome, Mike in Minneapolis. There, I'm loving that you're loving it. I can't wait to see your titties when they're done. That's Wheat Titties for those of you who are just joining the channel and don't understand that I'm, fairly off-color humor kind of an asshole. All right. For those of you who have just noticed, Mike Safer Ride Squatch has shared the link to those lights. Feel free to go check out the website right there. Think Green, Potsquatch, hope all is good. How's Franken, what? Oh, Franken plant. Need a bit of advice, please. Best temperature and humidity for a 2x2 with the TS1000. Thanks, stay safe. All right, well, one, you got to remember, too, with the TS, you can't remove the driver on that, right? So it's going to add to the ambient heat in there. The kind of my personal 2 cents, and for me as a grower, is my happy place is 21 to 23 degrees. If you talk to one of my friends, Pavel, for example, another longtime grower here in BC, we're not rivals. I'd say we work together as a team, and we've been, in the industry and friends for almost 20 years now. Fuck, we're getting old. But anyway, he's a hot grower, right? So he grows at like 28, 29 degrees. So that would be his happy place. I'm not a big believer in that. My happy place is usually 21 to 20 degrees if I can control that. And I like to drop my temperatures down at night during lights off there. I like that back and forth of the hotter and then the coolers. I find that really tempers the cannabinoids and the resins within your plant. And so I'm a big fan of doing it that way. You know what I'm saying? Minneapolis Mike, you definitely can. For that email, it is potsquatch420@gmail.com. Yo, Freedom Grower, welcome to the show, man. Haven't seen you in a while. How you doing, baby? Good to see you. What's crack-a-lacking in the hood? How you been, man? Good to see you, dude. It was a bit warm. It's been really hot here in Canada. I'll share a fun story about my friend Pavel's grow, actually. So my friend Pavel just recently moved out kind of into this area. Close enough. I could drive to his grow in maybe about 45 minutes, 50 minutes, depending on traffic. But Pavel himself was always used to growing on the coast of BC. We call it the coast. It's kind of like going to the island, but it's actually on the mainland. But it's you got to take a ferry to get there. But since it's out in the fucking ocean, there's a lot cooler temperatures out there. Where we are here in the Fraser Valley in BC, we're not on the ocean. We're kind of inland and east, which means we get a lot hotter temperatures out here. It's significantly hotter out this way than it is either in Vancouver, on the island, or on the coast. So anyway, Pavel, when he was setting up his stuff, was out on the coast. How he would set up his grows is, a lot of people do this in the right area. It works in BC, where you bring cooler air from outside. That coupled with exhaust is a great way to control your temperatures. Pavel obviously is still resisting the new ways of LED. I've been on him for years to try it out, but he likes his HPS. But anyway, when he was designing his grow, I was consulting him on it, and he didn't listen to me. I tried to tell him you need to do a closed environment with AC. You got to leave your, air intake exhaust techniques of the coast behind because they just won't work during the summer here. At the end of the day, he decided to not listen and go ahead. And then so yesterday, I think it was it was either yesterday or the day before, but Pavel called me freaking out. Because one of his bedrooms is raised up in the building where he's built everything. Brand new building. It's gorgeous. They've done a really good job for the most part, minus the intake-outtake system that, is not going to work during the summer. And basically, his temperatures in the bedroom had gone to like 44 degrees Celsius without any lights or anything on. And that's a pretty high temperature, my friends. That's fucking way too high. He is a hot grower, but he likes 29 or 30 degrees maybe, but 44 way too fucking high. So basically he called me kind of in a panic, and I had to break the news to him. Was like, nah, man, you can't use like a small AC like I got. You're gonna have to go buy at least a 20-ton AC unit. You're gonna have to tie it into your HVAC system, build sub-controllers so you can add individual environment control to each room. Uh, and I had to break the news to him that it's gonna cost him at least $20,000 to $50,000. And he's gonna have to change the HVAC system the way it's been built into the fucking thing because he didn't build it. It's not that he built it wrong. He built it right in terms of the setup that he was going for, but it's the wrong setup to use out here. So long story short, he's going to have to install a fairly large AC unit. Poor Pavel. I'm sorry, buddy, but yeah. So I literally, after I explained it to him, I said, dude, get off the fucking phone with me and start calling AC people. But you got to prepare that yourself for that. It's going to be $20,000 to $50,000 to do what you're going to need to do to integrate a proper AC system into your giant grow. But yeah, good times. Johnny Summertime, are you being promiscuous? Hell yeah, Freedom Grow. 1 second here. I'm just playing catch up now. Oh, good. I'm not that far behind, so that's pretty good. 1 second here. I'm just reading everybody. Do I think it would be hard to grow in a tropical country? No, not necessarily. Are we talking indoors or outdoors, though, my friend? Texas Squatch. About to take the dogs out to the beach for a run. Much love, y'all. I'm hoping out for your speedy recovery, Robert. Hell yeah, man. Robert, we're all thinking of you. We're using our combined stone psychic force field to send to your brain to repair the parts of your brain that blew up during stroke. Shutting off exhaust, definitely not. Exhaust, if anything, you're going to have to increase your exhaust, Raphael. Increasing the exhaust is going to help to move some of that ambient heat temperatures or heat energy out of your space. And that's going to be overall very beneficial to you in terms of your ability to help. Basically, what you're doing when you do that is you're helping to try to like take some of the load off of your AC unit. And you know, it's going to be a hotter than fuck summer out where we live here, man. Like I actually just switched out the 9,000 BTU AC unit that I have been running in there to the 14,000 that we do have, which is sort of the bigger Betty. And it was funny. So I plugged that one in and I cranked it, but we're actually running more equipment since the last time I actually plugged in that 14,000 BTU unit. Yeah, I popped my breakers. I was like, oops. Okay, let's get creative. Luckily, I mean, I have like 4 dedicated breakers in there. I am probably what I'm going to do, and this is a very simple switch. I mean, a lot of people, I mean, unless you feel comfortable doing it, don't, but it's not hard to switch out a breaker. Right now, I've got 15 amp breakers, obviously, which is the standard thing for most breakers, wired into a house. You can easily switch it out to a 20 amp breaker without any issues, my friends. Basically, what you're going to go do is, one, make sure the power's off, because if it's not, you're dead, potentially. I mean, I've lived through it a few times where it wasn't, but you can easily switch out 15 amp breakers with 20 amp breakers just to give yourself a little bit of room, right? But so I had to get a little creative there in terms of where am I going to wire my cables. So I actually had an outlet that was not having too much draw off it. I just had a couple of fans going off that one breaker that was tied into the roof. So basically, what does that mean? Well, it means I got a long cable now running down the room to run the AC at the opposite end of the room, but hey, nothing's popping and the lights are still on. So that's part of a, you know, that's a good thing, right? Kind of hard to grow when you don't got any fucking lights, you know what I'm saying? All right. Ashley Uppers asked a question. 1 sec. Okay. Ashley, I'll get to that in 2 seconds. I used to grow outdoor in South Louisiana. It's considered subtropical. There we go, Ben. Awesome. Sharing some informations. Humidity, obviously, in tropical areas is going to be a big bitch sometimes, but, you know, you do what you can, right? Fuck, Ben. Everyone's having strokes. Dottie's aunt just had a fucking stroke and is blind now from it. And my dad's had 3 that should have killed him. Uncle Paul's had a bunch of smaller ones, maybe 1 or 2 medium ones. So what does that mean? We basically prepared ourselves, and Uncle Potsquatch might stroke out at some point. But, you know, hey, I have a long-running genetic track record in terms of family histories that, you know, we won't even know with the first 2. I probably already have one. Who knows? But all right, moving on. Jay Bird, Ashley Upper, at Potsquatch Growers. What do I do when my plants have yellow leaves with brown spots? Well, typically, yellowing leaves, I mean, I have to see it, what type of yellowing is happening. But typically, you have you're gonna be running out of nitrogen, right? So you've either got a nitrogen lockout, nitrogen deficiency, um, and basically, so you're gonna need some more nitrogen in there, and you're gonna also need some more calcium and magnesium just to help facilitate that recovery on that. Another thing that's also going to be important there is doing a little bit of calcium magnesium, because typically a lot of brown spotting, especially if it's very quick to show up, not so much a slow gradual, but then all of a sudden you got these brown spots and it's almost like desiccated dead tissue within the leaf itself. Like if you touch it, it's almost dry and crackly a little bit. That is classical calcium magnesium. Unless it's really dark, sometimes that can be a zinc deficiency or lockout, right? There's a few different things, right? But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all very doable and very possible. But yeah, what I would do is give it a little bit of a nitrogen lift, as it were. You can use some coffee for that. If you don't have anything on hand, just use some old coffee. Maybe put like a cup of coffee to 2 gallons of water. Maybe put a little molasses in there. If you don't got like a ProCal or a CalMag kind of a thing, you can use Epsom salts, which is magnesium sulfate. So that's going to give you some sulfur in there as well. And then you can also take your eggshells, bake those, powder those, make a little tea, and then boom, there's your calcium. So that'll help you eat ditties. For another magnesium source as well and potassium source for your plants, take brown banana peels. That's right. Save those fuckers. Make a tea. It'll smell good. Maybe put like 6 or 7 banana peels in big pot of water. Do it down until it reduces 2/3. Boom. You just made some very nice juice teas. And then you're going to use that into your watering as well. Hey, and it showed up, Visible Fires Pilgor. It survived. Jaybird 420 Michigan, visible 4 years ago. What are we talking about? Now I'm getting lost now. Well, thanks for the info. I blew my breaker with my AC fans and lights. Yeah, Raphael, one, if it's just a little bit of amperage room that you need, you can maybe switch out that breaker to a slightly larger breaker. The wiring is pretty fucking simple on that. Just make sure the power's off. Or you might have to get a little bit of creative, and if you don't have dedicated breakers sort of built into the room, like mine has 4 or 5 different dedicated breakers running to different parts of the room. But at the same time, you can switch out breakers just to give yourself a little bit of oomph. And, those extra 5 amps, that actually might be all you need for that to help. You come say hi, Victor. Come say hi to everybody. Everybody, our friend Victor's here. Victor's a guest on the show now, whether he likes it or not. You get to come say hi to everybody, Victor. One of the cool things we could talk to Victor about on the show that's actually relevant is actually Victor knows a lot of the some of the isolate companies here in BC that create a lot of cool isolates. So
some of them.
Yeah.
Some of them.
Welcome to the show, Victor. There. Let's get the framework here.
Oh, Lord Almighty.
Oh, don't worry. You're beautiful. You look gorgeous. Oh. Now we're going to shoot the angle.
Really?
Oh, something happened with phone. Let's go. Oh, no, we're good. We're good. All right. It's now working. All right. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Victor is on the show. Victor, this is the Potsquatch Growers Army, my friend.
Hello.
We are a community all over the world. There are 5 of the 6 continents. We're waiting for the penguin to come.
Oh, penguins?
There are no penguins yet. No.
Some high penguins, that'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be funny. Because they're pretty funny on their own. We actually be just talking about, some temperature things. It's summertime. People living in hot places. Fuck, it's getting hot here too. Mm-hmm. I was sharing stories with them about my friend Pavel and how his grow, he didn't listen. And he went with sort of doing an air intake exhaust system, which is very practical in like Vancouver Island or on the coast or even a BC or Vancouver is much cooler temperate. But now the fact that he's out here inland, right, in the valley, he's fucked. He's gonna have to go drop probably 20 to 50 grand to do a bare minimum of 20-ton install on that one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a little warm out these days.
Oh, okay. Okay, so Johnny Summertime, when a lady says to calm down, you should calm down. Okay, don't make me put you on time out there, Johnny. If she wants to talk to you, she will, okay? Ashley, if you're okay, let me know. Say something, okay? Okay, maybe they're probably dating. Who knows? I don't know. But if it is legit harassment, buddy, just calm down. Maybe put testicles and penis in some ice and water. It's nice, you know. Very refreshing, you know. It's like you're hungover, you're tired, just put your junk in some ice water, you know. All right. Big Tree Farm says, "What's up, Victor?"
Yo.
All right. All right, moving on. Zach Baker, hey, what's up, Zach Baker? Ashley Upper, how you? Are you good? Okay, Ashley, cool. I'm just looking out for you, sister. All right, moving on. All right. I think everyone's just on quarantine and it's just being silly. Okay, Victor, I'm gonna be right back. Do you need a drink?
I do not actually. I have a beverage right here.
Oh, then you're perfect. I will grab a beer and then I'll be right back. Everyone, I'll be right back.
Ah, I see.
Hi there. All right. Perfection. What's that?
Good thing. Beer.
Oh, I know. It's too hot not to.
I've got this stuff with some vodka, so.
Hey, vodka. Good for you too, right? All right. Let's take a look here. All right. Now, what did I miss? What's everybody saying? Do you believe a portable AC strips CO2 from a room? No. I mean, it's not the design. There's no tech in a portable AC unit that's actually going to be able to remove carbon from the air. One can argue that it's removing any excess carbon that may be in there via that it has to exhaust out. ACs are going to remove ambient heat energy from the air, yes. But then what are they going to do? Well, they're also need to send that heat energy somewhere. They're not going to break it down, right? So one could say that yes, that exhaust is taking some of the carbon out of the environment. But it's not got anything built in that it's specifically trying to scrub out just CO2 or carbon dioxide. So simply put, no. But at the end of the day, I mean, I've never been really worried about that personally. And I mean, you know, at the end of the day, you know, if you're worried about that anyway, just get a CO2 injection system, do a yeast-based breathable something, or just literally go sit in your grow for a while and breathe. Because, you know, we breathe out carbon dioxide, and then the plants turn it into oxygen. It's a symbiotic relationship. All right. Okay. Do you believe... Nope, did that. Johnny, sometimes. See, oh, y'all, she likes me. See, she really likes me. Oh, I'm so happy for you, Johnny. It's very nice. Suburban Life. Who's this? I missed the introduction. What's up, buddy? Well, I'm me, and my friend Victor's here. Victor is a friend and business partner. And, yeah. Just here having fun on the show today with us. Why not? Dr. Wheatman. Good evening to you, Dr. Wheatman. Welcome to the show. Ashley. Nope. Okay, perfect. Oh, so, okay, Johnny Summertime. If you grow good weeds, she might let you in. There we go. She might give you a chance. So hopefully you've been, you know, practicing your wheat titties, you know? All right. Minneapolis Mike says, "Hola, Victor."
Hola, senor.
He says, "Hola, senor." Not that you can hear him. I mean, he's here, so you hear him too, but it's all redundancy. But I got a room I'm trying to pull her in. That could be constituted as rape, just letting you know. So be careful on that one. Language is a bitch, man. You know, and language is important. So, you know, I mean, sure, it's all cheeky and fun, but technically, people have gone to jail for saying less. So, you know, just be careful. But again, Ashley seems like she's doing all right. So, I mean, it's not my place. I'm sure she could take care of herself. What temp do I press my rosin at? Big Tree Farms, it depends on what I'm doing. Typically for flower, the optimal temperature I find is 80 to 85 degrees Celsius for flower pressing. If you're going to go press some hash or keef, etc., better temperature is usually about 70, 75. And I mean, you can go press hash, for example, at a 90 micron. You might want to drop your microns down to maybe like a 27 or a 45 micron screening net. But it does work though. As long as you have a high quality rosin press bag. One of the things I've noticed, a lot of the bags that are available out there for rosin pressing are kind of bullshit. I actually only use Supreme rosin. I think that's what it's called. Bags. Supreme Rosin Evolution. I think they're called Supreme Rosin Evolution. They're on Amazon, and their label is blue. So those are my favorite ones to use, and I like those. Yeah, I mean, I'm drinking Budweiser wearing a PBR shirt. Maybe that's sacrilegious, but the funny thing is I just drink cheap beer, so they're all good to me, except for the ones that I don't like. But that happens sometimes. Safe word, Dark Star. There we go. I believe that's a strain too. Looks beautiful up in BC today. It is, Brendan. It's quite nice in British Columbia today. Finally, we got some clouds, so it's not direct sunlight. It was far too fucking hot for me earlier. I am not a person who enjoys the sun. I am a Celtic mudblood who burns and burns and burns some more. But I prefer it cooler too. Better for the grow. Because if I don't need to be running tons of AC or cranking my AC, I was just telling them too when I put the new, because I've got two of them, that 14,000 BTU, pop my breakers the second I put it on because I'm running more tech in there than I did before. So I had to get creative. I think I'm going to actually go buy some 20 amp breakers and replace all the breakers feeding to that room. Yeah.
Go 30.
Yeah. Well, I was going to put in 20s, but yeah, 30s, why not?
Well, you know what? You give yourself a better chance, right?
No, exactly. Well, the great thing is I've already got like 4 or 5 breakers feeding into the one room. So I do have a good amount of breakers, but the second you try to load something up too much, like, I mean, if I got 2 double squatches and like a fan going on that thing, there's not much room left on the breaker at 15, right?
Crazy thought, but could you run like the same type of power you'd run off of like an actual stove and rig it up that way? Because those things draw a ton more and are set up for that. So like you'd basically set up stove power equivalent, like much more.
I could do that, yeah, like for example, like our lights, for example, you could do that where we can wire it for like a 220, 240 kind of a wiring voltage wise. The only thing is I'd have to rewire, like get my lights set up for that, and then I'd have to redo it. And so like the one thing is I like plug and play without too much kind of crap with my shit. So for most of my equipment, even though I am spending slightly more money for the power that it's going to be consuming, rocking the 120 is great. But then again, look at Europe. Most of Europe is a 220, 240. So most of all the rigs that we send over there are wired that way.
Right.
And so it is, and also to a lot of European countries, power is fucking expensive. Like when I lived in Germany, everybody, fucking expensive power. When I lived in Holland, not quite as bad, but still really expensive. Oh, yeah. But it's also super illegal to use grow lights in Holland, actually. So. Well, a lot of people think Holland's like this big, like pro-weed, this or that place, and it's not really. It's actually quite conservative in a lot of ways, and there's actually some quite strict laws to it, funnily enough. But, common misconceptions, right? I've actually been pressing the Bubba Kush that I took down into some rosin recently. Since we let it go to 10 weeks, it's coming out a little dark. But I like dark. Dark means powerful. So it's got a huge, great terpene profile, nice and soft, really nice. But it's got that darker color, which is indicative of maturing trichromes, the conversion from THC to CBN, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a lot of rosins. If you see them come out really light in color, it's because it's an early pick. It was a premature weed. It wasn't picked when it was done. They've gone and pressed sort of premature glands. So where it may look pretty, it's definitely going to lack the left hook, shall we say. Where if you're using fresh flower and it comes out darker, though, that's got a really mature couch lock left hook built into it, which is typically what I go for. Like I like 10 to 40% ambering on most of my shit. So, yeah. How can you send me beer? Well, I mean, I'm not going to say no to beer, but I mean, well, where are you, Isaac? Depends on where you is, man, and what you talking about. Like if you want to buy me a case of beer, I guess you could call the local liquor store and be like, hey, I'm going to send you an e-transfer. I want to buy a Potsquatch of beer. Or if you have a specific beer you want to share, well, that one might take a little bit more involvement. Luckily for us, I know a fair bit about borders and customs. Learn more every day, but there seems to be more asinine rules implemented and all that shit more and more as years go by. But oh, Johnny, if you actually win with these cheesy fucking jokes and lines, bud, I'm impressed. All right, moving on. You need the lights. Jason Houlihan, the mic, are you still there? Can you please share the link for Jason Houlihan for the Potsquatch lighting systems? Please and thank you. Oh, shit. Looks like it's working there, Johnny. Good job, bud. All right, then. Go have fun, kids. Enjoy Zoom. It's a great app. Back in the day, we didn't have apps to do that. We called each other on the phone for phone sex.
Yes.
And we used a little thing called our imaginations. All right. All right, moving on. All right. Okay. Well, what should we talk to about today? Also too, for those of you just joining the show, our friend Robert, the blind cultivator, had a very serious stroke either yesterday or the day before. Currently laid up in the hospital down in Houston, completely paralyzed to the one side, not really able to speak or anything. So, for any of you who can send out positive vibes to the blind cultivator there down in Texas, it is much appreciated. The combined stone psychic mind field of the Potsquatch Growers Army, ladies and gentlemen, will send energy into the broken, blown up brain of Robert, and maybe we can fix it with our power of mind. I don't know.
Worth a shot.
Yeah, it's worth a shot, or at least maybe it'll make him laugh as he's sitting in the hospital when he gets a chance to see the show. We're assuming that he and I have made up. We got into a huge fight a couple of months ago, haven't been talking, and then I found that out from Texas Pete, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I asked Texas Pete when he was going to the hospital yesterday to visit Robert, dude, tell him, fuck, we were both being stupid idiots. Let's squash the beef. We were being dumb. I love you, buddy, and if you're sick, you're sick. Like, let's not be an idiot. So, Robert kind of was like, we're assuming that means yes, and that he's on board with that. We'll find out. Sorry, Robert, but I know you're an asshole, and you won't care if I'm making fun of your stroke right now. So, moving on. Laughter is the best medicine anyway, Robert! And I come from a long line of strokers. I'm allowed to. All right, Peter Vigna, I got the same cloner as you, but when I turn it on, it pisses water out the air intake. You gotta be doing something wrong then. Pisses water out the air intake. Well, the pump that thing comes with is a piece of shit anyway. I replaced that with the proper air stone and a really big air pump. So what I'm going to say is keep the piece of plastic and the styrofoam bits for it. Get rid of that piece of crap air pump. It's a joke. It's pointless. What you're going to want to go and do, get yourself a really nice air stone, kind of a 6-inch disc one. You're going to need a T-splitter, and then you're going to get a nice big air pump, something like an SF900 for like an aquarium. And then you're going to take that T-splitter, integrate it into the intake for your air stone, run your dual hoses off your air pump into it. Boom, vastly superior to the piece of crap that little cloner came from. Worst $160 I ever spent. Yeah, I'm Canadian, so we spent way more on shit. Our dollar sucks.
Yes, it does.
It's one of the things that breaks my heart with how bad our dollar is for the Canadian Potsquatch when they go to buy our lighting system, because all of our lighting systems are USD. So even though, yeah, sure, the website reads in Canadian, but the Canadian price fluctuates with our dollar, where it's locked in the USD. So that's one of the drawbacks of having a partner company that's American. Well, it's the only real drawback. I mean, other than that, it's been a good partnership for the most part so far. So we'll see how it goes. Oh, has everyone been getting all their lights that were purchased during the sale that we did for 420? I've heard a lot of you have received them. I'm just making sure that those are all going out properly and being done. Not that Brett wouldn't be doing that. Brett's great at doing that and staying on top of it, but I just want to make sure that you're all getting your lights out there. What's up, Daziman? Welcome to the show. High Tower Gardens. I'm in the middle of building my new LEDs. Hell yeah, High Tower Gardens. Send me some pictures when you're done, man. All right. So, Victor, what can you share about your personal experience with the world of cannabis? I mean, you know some of the CBD companies here, so that's interesting. What's that like, knowing some of them?
Honest answer? Honest answer? That's,
yeah, you're allowed to be honest. I mean, we're the realest YouTube on YouTube. We don't hide shit from nobody.
No, the reality is it's still the Wild West. I don't care how you slice it. I don't care what kind of attempts that has been made to make it more available. I think is the whole purpose of the exercise that's been done. But no, it's still very much the Wild West. It's still very hard to acquire, on a larger scale. And this is, I think, what you do is you empower people to do it themselves. It's no different than just to take a slight change in gear. It's no different than when guys want to make their own beer or wine, for example.
Oh yeah.
So because the quality, you know what you're doing with it. A lot of times, for example, to use a wine example, you get way too many sulfates in a wine. You make your own, you don't get that same problem.
Totally.
So you don't get absolutely a huge hangover when you drink a bunch of it. So same thing translating here is every time I've looked for, bigger volume for a transaction, it's either been terrible quality or hard to find in something you'd want to consume. So,
Totally.
well, so that's a bit of what I found is actually got a slightly better chance of getting stuff out of the States.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the market right now has dropped off. Like, prices are so cheap for isolate down in certain states right now.
Oh
Like
yeah,
it's
it's
stupid cheap.
bananas.
But then you've got sort of like the EU, for example, has issued their order that right now, at least, the only place you can import to the EU for CBD isolates is via Canada, but it has to be done properly and licensed through the Canadian federal government and Health Canada and all this crap and blah, blah, blah. Which, I mean, yeah, sure, that's a good thing. I'm not saying like all this crap. I just hate government bureaucracy, and I have an issue with how they fucked everything up. I mean, and it's funny how you make the wine analogy too, because that's very true in terms of kind of legal cannabis in Canada, right? Like, I mean, you go to the stores, the government or the big LPs that are selling to the government are utilizing 68 chemicals, which are extremely toxic and harmful to the human person. And they're spraying this shit down throughout the entire life cycle during flower. Then there are many LPs are actually blasting their premium flower for dabs. Then they're purging it, and then they throw it into a glorified microwave to irradiate the shit. And then that is what's being deemed safe for human consumption when you're safer buying from that old lady down the street. And like, because, that's just the truth of it, right? And then it's just shocking to me to be able to see what the government is attempting to sell and to see their pricing and their taxing base structures on it. I'm like, it's like you're asking to fail. Everything has been done wrong. We did. I told you about the 2-part video that we did on the channel where we went and found a legal pot store and bought some of their hash plants. We had actually just grown the original hash plant, completely different genetics. Whatever they were growing was not hash plant, and it had been stripped. Like if you looked at it with the jeweler's loupe, all the trichrome heads were stripped off this bud. It looked like you ever seen a desiccated tree forest?
Yeah.
Imagine that. But so there's no trichromes, just like these weird stalks from the trichromes all throughout it. And then in part 2, when we actually smoked it, I only got through about that much of the joint, and then I felt like my brain was bleeding. You can even see in the video, like I was getting these weird sensations in my head, and it got worse and worse and worse, and it actually lasted for about 2 days. I actually only smoked that much of the joint.
Jeez.
I've been smoking pot since I was a kid. I've smoked moldy pot. I've probably smoked a lot of pot with other shit in it when I was a kid, or unflushed pot, or you know what I mean. And I've never reacted that way though to cannabis as I did with the government stuff.
The reality behind it is the whole concept here with the government stuff was let's supply the people, as it were. But to do that, the only way to really get that done is you're gonna have to go mass production. Mass production always equals always equals worse quality. Always equals shortcuts. It's like tequila. I love booze analogies, by the way, folks.
That's okay. We're both drinkers, everyone.
So. I love tequila as an example, and bad tequila gives me the worst hangovers in the world. But really good tequila, I can drink it all night into the next day. I'll be drunk as a skunk, sure, but I'll be operational and I'm fine. It's really what they did with the tequila, same way in Mexico. Is they're producing it for the world out of this one little spot in Mexico. But you got to think about it. You're producing tequila for billions of people or billion people out of a spot this big on the map. It's like, well, something's gonna give.
Oh no, totally.
And that's what we're doing here. I'm thinking is what you're describing is you're basically trying to pump it out as quickly as possible, and with the definition of that is quality suffers.
Well, and the funny thing is there are ways around that too, right? Like there are ways to do large scale operations and still maintain quality. I mean,
South America's really got that figured out.
Yeah, well, Black Market's been doing it the entire time, right? Like one of the things that gives me the heebie-jeebies, and this is for both the new intermediate or long-term growers. I mean, it's an information for you that I'll share, is that you don't do something huge the way they are doing it. They've got like 10-acre super greenhouses. There is literally one giant room that's almost 10 acres. There is no segregation. There's no subdivision. So if you get an issue hitting that greenhouse, your whole crop is fucked. It's all about segregation, breaking it down, doing it in small batches, even if you are doing it on a 10-acre scale, right? And then that way you can at least segregate and control certain things. Also, the fact that they're spraying shit down for the entire life of the plant. Like, certain things you can spray if you really have to during flower.
Right.
Try to avoid it, but you can. There are some things you can, but I mean, at the end of the day, though, It's never good to do that. But then, you look at what these big LPs are doing, and it's just fucked. And the funny thing is, though, they're spraying it down with a shitload of chemicals. They're blasting it, then irradiating it, and somehow mold and bugs are still showing up in people's shipments.
Well, you got to give them credit for that. Like, you're doing the impossible.
Leave it to the government to just suck at everything they do.
I remember watching this show. They said it was actually Last Man Standing, and the son-in-law. He's like, well, I got a pot shop to run. Pot doesn't sell itself. He's like, wait, yes, it does.
Pretty much.
And then
it used to.
But the point being, how do you actually screw that up? Like, to have something that literally sells itself.
Exactly. Well, that was kind of, I don't know if any of you on the channel have seen. I'm just also trying to get power to the camera here. Technically, I've got power in here if I hold this over.
There you go.
And this. There we go. 1 second, everybody. The phone won't die on my watch. But, fuck, my brain just farted. What the fuck was he saying? What were we talking about?
We're talking about you couldn't screw up selling pot.
Right, thank you. Yeah, so anyway, back in, I remember, this would have been probably about 6 to 8, 9 months ago now. But I woke up one morning, and, as I do, I read different articles and news, stuff from news outlets while I take my morning shit.
Great place. It's like the office, man.
No, well, it's my throne, right? It's where I do some of my best reading. And but the funny part is I saw this article that was released from, I can't remember if it was New Brunswick or Nova Scotia, somewhere in the Maritimes. It was one of the two. Had lost $11.7 million in the first 6 months of operation. And I'm sort of sitting there going like, how the hell do you lose money selling pot? Even back in high school, if the pot sucked, it was underscaled, you still made money. It really takes a special kind of stupid to lose money selling pot. And it got so bad to that exact store actually was put up for auction. It was originally started in that province, wanting to be kind of like an LCBO or BCL, a government-run operated facility. And then the government realized, well, we basically sucked and shit the bed in every fucking way on this stupid thing. Who wants to buy it from us and try to fix this? And that's basically what happened. And it was just astonishing to me. Like, how do you lose money selling pot? I mean, it takes a special kind of stupid, my friends. All right, here, let's check in here. I love the wind chimes. Yeah, I know, it's very tranquil. I like sitting out here. One of the best, my favorite things is once in a blue moon we get a rainstorm or a windstorm out here. Sit out here, smoke a fatty, turn on this light that throws a bunch of weird cool colors everywhere when it's on, and just listen to the chimes rock and roll. Family's doing well, Mark Lavender. I haven't seen you in the goddamn show in a while. How's the family doing? How the kids doing? How's Tina doing? Tell them I all say hi. Tell them that Squatchy is living in the grove, protecting the grove. And the other dolls there, the Edward Scissorhand. Oh, yes, he is in Mrs. Potsquatch's jam space, protecting the ukuleles. Have you seen that doll that Mark's wife made?
No.
She made a life-size... I'll go get it here. Yeah, you got to talk to everybody for a minute while I run in there and get it. But she literally took, because about a year and a bit ago, so not this most recent St. Patrick's Day, the one before, I did a live stream show, and I was dressed up like a giant leprechaun because I just got home from work bartending, so I dressed up as a leprechaun for work that day.
Right.
And so she basically made a doll this big and hand crocheted it from pictures of me and that live stream and made me into a leprechaun.
That's gotta be scary.
It's pretty weird, but it's pretty fucking cool.
Massive beard at the time?
I had a beard, not quite this long, but it has the beard
like
there. Yeah, kind of maybe like you, an inch or two more than yours, but yeah. And it was funny because at the time I had really broken glasses that I had taped together, so they were crooked on my face. She even got the crooked glasses right. It was hilarious. And this woman can make anything. I've seen her make, well, technically, actually, everyone, one of the things I've been talking with Mark's wife, Tina, there, she's actually made 7, 8, or 9, or 10 custom Potsquatch dolls, actually, everybody. So what Tina and I are going to do is we're going to figure out a price where I can acquire them, and then what I'm going to do is we're going to do an auction with the dolls. So those of you out there who want to buy a Potsquatch doll, I mean, one of them, I'm a unicorn. I know that for a fact. I've seen it. She made me into the village people. So from the biker to the construction worker to the First Nations elder, everything. She's made me into all of them. So those are available. And so what we'll do, though, is we'll auction those off to raise some funds. And then what we're going to use those funds is we'll use those funds to build a grow kit to do a contest with. So we'll get a Squatch light in there. We'll get a tent in there. I'll go shop and I'll go to my local grow store. Hell, maybe I can get them to make some donations into it too. Give them a shout out. Pacific Northwest Mission, check them out. That's my grow store, and they've always been very good. The Potsquatch there. They'll take care of you. Just tell them you know Potsquatch if you go in there. You'll be fine. But yeah, that's what we were thinking. And, like, you have to see these fucking things. Like, they're about this big, I think. And she's made like just a whole series of me into different things.
Wow.
One of them, I think, I don't know if she's made it yet, but it was Mark's idea, if I'm remembering correctly. But it was to make me naked and put a pot leaf over my junk. But my joke to her was, I was like, okay, I'm all right with that, but make sure you put one testicle on the doll, because unless it's a pre-27 me, I have one now.
Just have the one hanging out there, you know.
Well, tumors happen, everybody.
No fun. I can imagine.
Okay, 1 second here. We're going to read some of the message here. Mel Star says, cracking me up / us, brah. Tell the missus, please, I hit her... Oh, yeah, for you. Yeah, we saw that. She saw it, and she sent that over. I'm going to repackage that package because I won't lie to you. I had the package ready to send to you guys with all your hats and T-shirts in it, and then I kind of harvested, and then I had all the stalks in a bag from the harvest, and I didn't really think, and I put it on the package. It fucking reeks like dope. And I was like, yeah, that's not gonna survive through a international shipment there. So what are we gonna do then? Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna repackage that for you and send it out. I will be going into town tomorrow to send out a bunch of orders from the store. A bunch of people have ordered grinders and boxes of papers. We got 3 or 4 orders that we got to go ship tomorrow. So I will get that into the mail for you guys tomorrow, as long as they'll let me. Because the last time I went, the only thing I had as an option to ship to New Zealand was, in fact, putting it on a boat for 3.5 months. Because currently, right now, New Zealand is on super lockdown in terms of post. We have no issue shipping to most countries. The EU is fine. Shipping over to the States is fine. But yeah, right now, New Zealand's tricky.
Well, crazy theory, but can you check to see if New Zealand's got easier access with, for example, Australia, and then just ship it to Australia and have it picked
Well,
up
I think
there
there are some ways.
There's some routes that you can do.
Well, there are some routes. I think basically what I got to do is, at the time they were still in their full kind of lockdown phases. I think they were stepping it down in about a week when I went the last time. So hopefully, if I pay for like $120 express post, which has been paid for, then we can do that, and we'll send it super fast and get it there. Because nobody wants their hat and T-shirt and papers and shit to sit on a fucking boat for fucking 3.5 months.
No.
I don't want to trust a boat to get it there, so... All right, let's see what everyone's saying here. Have I ever used Excel CO2 bags? I've never actually used them personally. I typically built my own yeast-based CO2 exhaust systems. But those of my friends who have used them have been quite happy with them. They're essentially no different than making your own. So if you'd like to make your own, it's very simple and straightforward. Little yeast, little sugar, time, patience, and a little thought, some glue. But if you just want to be simple, then yeah, go buy one of those, and they're pretty good. CO2, typically when you integrate that into your crop, it's going to up your yield roughly 20 to 30% usually. But make sure, though, if then using an exhaust bag to mount it above your canopy. Remember, carbon dioxide is heavier than air, so you need to mount it up high so then it goes like this and sinks through the plants, thus being effective. If you put your exhale bag in there kind of lower than the buds, you're literally pissing away money and it's pointless. So, just a fun little side note there for you, ladies and gentlemen. El Chapo, what's up, Potsquatch? What's up? Oh, what's up, man? Oh, they're calling you Wolverine. There you go.
I've been called that before.
I think Victor's all right with that.
I got called that today already. Actually, go figure.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah. Well, there you go. Right. Well, see, there's a common theme here.
Yeah.
I'll grab the razor and we can like perfect the Wolverine there.
I probably could. I'm almost just long enough for that.
Yeah. Well, you've got a great angle too, because how Hugh Jackman did his was kind of like a downward angle, exactly like that, and then we'll just carve out like this part here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we could totally send you home to your wife as Wolverine and see what she says.
Lord.
I went to Josh's barber shop. Oh, right. Melstar, take care of your health and well-being all. Hell yeah, back at you, Melstar. Much love to you, girl. N42, I'll bring fresh air in. Was just thinking I could give the plants a boost with one of those bags. Hell yeah, you definitely could. Like it's not a waste of time to use CO2, ladies and gentlemen. That being said, I think you need to be over 80 degrees to make them worth it. Well, I don't speak Fahrenheit very well. What's
80 Fahrenheit?
Yeah, what's that in Celsius?
80 Fahrenheit is 27 degrees, roughly 25.
Bullshit.
27 Celsius.
Not true. That's not right. Whatever it is.
27, yeah.
27? Yeah, no, you do not need to have your temperatures at 27 for CO2 to be effective. In my humble 2 cents,
really
as a professional idiot, that is bullshit. That's not me telling you that. That's just me giving you my 2 cents.
Which in Canada we don't have anymore. 5 cents.
I've got fucking kilo brick or like big bricks.
Yeah.
Of $25 each brick of pennies in my house.
Jeez.
Well, because we started buying them to do the floor, and then we got lost some more. And I've got a couple of connections at banks. So whenever people bring in old pennies, I buy them off the bank. At face value. Well, yeah, because one of the things I like doing is I like going through them and finding old pennies, right? So I found a 1925 American penny, special one. It's not super worth a lot. It's worth a couple $100 maybe, but like
when you think about it as a cent,
still pretty. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, man.
It's kind of worth picking through.
Yeah. Well, and I like old shit too. So finding old coins and stuff has always been kind of fun. Like I used to collect stamps and old coins when I was a kid and shit. My buddy Sam was over the other day and he's just kind of cleaning out one of his barns, which is where the 1952 Cadillac, Hydromatic Cadillac, we're going to be building into the Potsquatch Mobile is. Once I get the scratch together, we're going to be buying off Sam. But he has like tons and tons of antique license plates. So when he was here the other day, I bought some smokes off of him. Mm-hmm. So he opens his trunk and he's got like fucking hundreds of these things in there. I was like, fuck, that's really cool. My wife loves that kind of shit. And he goes, well, here, give her a 1954 BC plate. So mint condition. Like, I mean, obviously it's got the patina, it's rusting out in spots, but it's like totally intact though. And it's this 1954 BC plate from back in the hood days.
66 years old.
I mean, yeah, day or two, right? Like,
it's not bad at all, to say the least.
See you later, Wayne Sundstrom. Have a beautiful day, and may the weed titty force be with you, my friend. Oh, are those also those XL bags aren't using a yeast base? They're using basically mushrooms. That's interesting. But aphids can be a bitch. But again, if you got Jake's All-in-One or some other similar products, that can work. Fuck, canola oil on its own is actually an effective insecticide.
Really?
Yeah, and Gazzers, if I'm remembering this correctly, I could be wrong on this one, but Gazzers from New Zealand, that's one we got to send the package to his family, said you can actually use the leaves from rhubarb plants. I grow rhubarb. Yeah. I love rhubarb. It's good for pie, and jam and shit.
Sure.
But I didn't do anything with the leaves. So he asked me one time, he's like, you ever do anything with your leaves? I said, fuck no, I put it in the compost. He goes, fuck man, if you take those and make a tea out of them and then reduce it down a bit, it makes a great insecticidal spray that's all natural, that'll kill a lot of stuff that you can spray on your plants.
Yes, you do. Just release a couple praying mantises in your
Dude, praying mantises are pimp, man.
Well, we just got a bunch for our garden.
Yeah, they're great.
Seriously, got UPS praying mantises.
Oh, yeah.
The guy's sitting there like this, like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
He thinks these things are going to kill him, right?
Yeah. Well, another cool thing is you can actually order like ladybugs too now, right? Like it's so cool.
That one seems a little weird, but considering they're everywhere. But the praying mantises, those things.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing is the thought is if you buy like a big box of ladybugs, right?
Yeah.
When you release them into your garden, what are they going to do? Well, basically, the second they get in your garden, they're going to start fucking, eating and fucking. That's what ladybugs do. So basically,
so you can film some ladybug porn.
Yeah, totally. And it's a weird looking thing. You see this ladybug and this other ladybug getting up on it, but when they start laying eggs, though, then you're actually having a self-propagating community of ladybugs that are going to live in your garden to protect shit. Which is pretty fucking dope.